Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and last night we had our first SP01 meta tournament for the Fusion World card game. We capped out at 64 players, 6 rounds of Swiss into this top 8 that we see here today. And a couple things before we get started. First, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We make a lot of Fusion World content. I don't want you guys to miss it either. Also, if you guys want to see the live stream for this event, you can find it linked in the description. We did all 6 rounds. We also did a little bit of Son Goku testing beforehand, so make sure to check that out. And then also big shouts to Jamie for being our judge for this event too. Would not be able to do this without them. And if you guys want any of the deck lists from this event and many others, you can find them on my website Eggman Events, which is linked in the description, and it's the one behind me as well. But jumping on into it, of these top 8, we did have 4 copies of the new Majin Buu, 1 of the Star Deck Bardock, 1 copy of the older Majin Buu Evil, a cell from SP01, as well as the Janemba. So yellow took 75% of this top cut, which I don't think is surprising to anyone. It's pretty clear that a lot of the new yellow cards are still really good. Getting rid of 3-drop Bobby did help, the SP04 Majin Buu be less relevant, though again, we just got so many good Majin cards from SP01 that there's a lot of different decks that can take advantage of it, and there's not really a lot of interactions across the board either for people to try to be to interact with it as well. So if you also look at the leader breakdown, we did have 14 Majin Buu Evil, 7 copies of the new cell, 7 copies of Giblet, 3 Majin Buu Evil, 3 of the SP04 Vegeta, 3 of the SP02 Vegeta, and then 27 others. So generally speaking, I think we had 24 different leaders across a 64 player event. So that is pretty cool to see almost half the leaders or half the people playing unique leaders. So that's, I think, pretty cool there. And then also we do have a good amount of deck list data. So we're going to go over all of the top 8, and then we also have a couple of X2 decks too. So we have the Son Goku Childhood, we've got Aandroidd 18, Yellow Vegeta, Green Vegeta, and Giblet. So if you guys want to check any of those out, find them here. We're going to go over them, and we're going to start right now with our Bardock. So we've got Tyler's first place version of the Bardock here, and this has always been one of my favorite leaders in this game. Just the backside effect is just generically super good, right? Being able to attack 25k every turn is really nice, but also being able to look at the top card of your deck, and generally speaking, you're not using the combo effect very often, but just seeing if the top card of your deck is good or bad just offers a lot of consistency to this deck, where I think a lot of other decks would falter a little bit. So that little extra burst of consistency is really, really nice. I think the only Bardock screw cards we're playing is literally Fascia, so we only, we don't have that many actual targets for that too, so I think that's impactful. But going through the deck, I think one big way to interact with Yellow Buu specifically is with this Pan GT. This being able to get rid of a 3-drop or 4-drop Buu on the board. You do have to use a marker for it, and it is like a little bit expensive, and again, you only like return it to hand, right? You don't KO it, but the fact that you don't KO a card means that you get around the 4-drop Buu's protection. The fact that also in general black gets a lot of extra advantage against Buu, because even if they play their 4-drop, you still have your energy marker active, right? The energy marker doesn't get tapped, so being able to use that for ultimate sparking on the defense I think is really good. And there's just like a lot of great defensive tools, I feel like, for Bardock specifically, that you do get around kind of all the aggressive energy tapping that Majin Buu is able to get. So other than that, we do just kind of have our standard cards, right? Son Goku GT is still pretty much a staple for every black deck outside of Shallot, and I still think like Shallot could still run the card as well. We also have Gogeta being able to really, like, this is like our one way to kind of interact with Yellow Buu. I know a lot of people aren't playing outs for this card specifically. The only out I feel like they would be playing is like 6-drop Frieza as well, which isn't outrageous for them to play, but I know they already play so many non-counters in the deck that it's going to be, or non-combos rather, that it's going to be tough for them to find space for it. But this being able to say like, okay, you either get a blocker or you get to attack me, right? Not being able to do any both anymore with Bobby is really good. The fact that it also gets rid of 4-drop Buu without proccing its on KO effect is really strong. And then again, it does give you an energy marker, which then you can use for ultimate sparking on the defense. So generally speaking, this is looking like a really solid build. I really want to test it out myself. I think there's some really cool interactions that we were able to see. And shoutouts to our Bardock player Tyler for getting first place in this event as well. So here is the build there, and congratulations to Tyler. And then we've got 4 different of the SP01 Majin Buu Evil. So we've got Angel's, Jacob's, Dylan's, and Joseph's version of the deck. And I did want to just kind of of go over all of them real quick just to show some minor differences. There is technically Angel got second place though with tiebreakers, right? So we did not have a top cut. We did not have anything outside of Swiss standings, but it is pretty clear that if you're looking at a lot of these builds, the common cards, one, unsurprising, are 2-drop Bobbity as well as 4-drop Majin Buu Kid, right? That's pretty unsurprising. 5-drop Majin Buu Kid honestly feels better than ever just because we have more targets for it, and the fact that you can go into Majin Buu Kid is great. We do have a good amount of our 3-drop Majin Buus with Majin Buu Evil, and Majin Buu Kid as well. And then 2 copies of the 4-drop Majin Buu Evil. This card's fine, and the fact that it also is like a 4-drop for our leader effect is really nice. Though generally speaking, you'd rather have the 4-drops and 5-drops that we have right now. So other than that, we do have like the Majin Buu Evil 2-drop. I don't see this card as often, but there is some like really good ways to use this effect. And there are some like weird times where like Majin Buu Evil has nothing else to play. So it's fine to just play this one out of your hand. And then we do have the Energy Absorption and Final Explosion. I think most people are playing like 2 to 3 copies of Final Explosion as well. There are just turns that even though if you're like behind, you do kind of need to use it to maybe get a chance to get back into the game. We do also see the 3-drop Janemba. This is kind of more of a tech choice, but this really lets you kind of do more of like a starve strategy. If your opponent's really dependent on awakening, being able to just like have ways to awaken yourself without awakening them, I think is really good. We also have like this 3-drop Majin Buu Kid, this being able to like there's like some weird scenarios where if you give this blocker, you can give it 1 KO'd and then you can go into your 4-drop Majin Buu Kid. Just being able to like ramp early with this, I think is fine for this card, so that's good there. And then we also do have like kind of just a mix of the rest of them, right? I don't think there's really that many tech cards. We do see like 1 copy of like the 4-drop Frisia. Being able to just like be a 4-drop barrier card is fine. The Majin Buu Evil effect, you do need to have a Majin card with a cost of 4 or more, so it doesn't just work with Frieza. But I know a lot of people who are kind of already like slipping on copies of the 3-drop Majin Buu with barrier. Like generally speaking, I think the cards that you already have are good. The fact that it doesn't have combo does kind of add up, because again, we have to play so many cards in this deck without combo, which can be kind of tricky. So all in all, like we don't even see the 3-drop Majin Buu in the build here from Dylan, and we also don't see it in the build here from Jacob. So I don't think it's an automatic 4-of that a lot of people were expecting. I think you can build with it, but you can build without it as well. And if you want to play this deck and also you just don't have this card because it's an older super rare, you definitely can play without it, I think is kind of the thing to say for it. So I think there's going to be a lot of kind of different iterations for Majin Buu Evil, though. I think that the card pool is wide enough that you are able to choose the cards you think are stronger, and it's going to be really difficult to play around everything, right? So I think the only other card is that like Majin Buu Evil 3-drop. I think that one's been consistent across all of them. The Majin Buu Kid 3-drop is not as needed, but still it's a really good finisher, especially if you do find room for your 3-drop Bobbity 1-drop that not everyone is finding room for, but you can definitely do that. And I think that is, there's like some wiggle room for builds there still as well. But congratulations to Angel, Jacob, Dylan, and Joseph for their top 8 finishes with the Majin Buu Evil. So next up, we've got the Majin Buu Evil from SP04. And I'm kind of like just grouping all the yellow decks together for this, just because, again, there are 6 of the top 8 for it. But, this deck, I think a lot of people have been thinking, can still be viable outside of the Bobbity going down to 1 copy. And it seemingly is the case, right? The fact that we do just have a lot of great yellow cards as well. The fact that we can kind of stall out of value, like Majin Buu Evil 3-drop, if your opponent doesn't answer it, is still really, really good. We can still take advantage of our 4-drop Majin Buu Kid as well. I've been trying to play this deck, and we played like 2-drop Bobbity, and then the fact that our leader effect, we get the energy back on either player's turn. So if they KO one of your cards, you can untap an energy. It does mean like Results of Training might be like a good card for this deck too, but all in all, like we're still like really flexible, and we still get to take advantage of a lot of these new yellow cards. The fact that like Majin Buu Pure Evil exists is such a great card, because we can pop it with something like Majin Buu Evil 3-drop, and then that just means that we can use our leader effect to untap an energy or attack again. So again, just having like a 1-drop Majin card for this is just really, really good. So lastly, we got the Majin Buu good, being able to like stun something 5 or less by just discarding, or no, just from attacking is good. The fact that it's a 10k, and then we can still get that advantage there. So by and large, I think this deck is good. Still, I think there are some different ways to build it, and I do appreciate that they are actually building the deck differently, right? Not just simply, building, like just changing the leader between these two and just calling it a day. So here's the build here from Diego. Congratulations for their top 8 with the SP04 Majin Buu Evil. And then to wrap up the yellow decks we're talking about, we've got the Janemba. So this is Nick's version of the deck here. And again, like we just have like so many good like yellow cards that exist right now. We're not really playing anything new from SP01 for this build, but we do take advantage of a lot of the like some of the Majin stuff, right? The fact that we still have Majin Buu Kid. Majin Buu Kid to so display only Majin Buu Pure Evil still is advantage because you likely are able to rest something, which is really good. The fact that we have a lot of flexibility with their energy with the when attacking ability to untap 2 is good. We are like a little bit worried about like having enough cards in hand a lot of the time because like we unlike like other yellow decks, I feel like Janemba doesn't have like the hand advantage. We kind of trade it for the energy advantage instead. But there are just like a lot of great ways to interact with some decks too with Janemba too. So not much to say. I'd be curious to see if Janemba is able to kind of continue to get a foothold in this meta. And congratulations to Nick for their finish there. And to wrap up the top 8, we've got Cell, one of my favorite leaders in this game right now. So this is the build here from Wim, who's able to get a 5th place finish with Cell. And, you know, you pretty much run a lot of the new cards, right? I think it's been pretty clear that this Aandroidd 18 1-drop is really great. Being able to use it and you know, get a draw, be able to get like a removal, like that just is like some really good value. And if your opponent doesn't get out of it, we have the 4-drop Cell chain, which I was really unsure. I really wanted this combo to work. I wanted it to be strong. And at the end of the day, I think it has been pretty consistent for what this deck gets to do. You just get so much value, right? The fact that this gets, you know, rid of a 10k, the fact that technically this card attacks twice, right? You attack 25k, and then afterwards you go into your 5-drop Cell, and then you use that to draw a card from your drop, so you can get your 4-drop Cell, and if they KO it, you get to you know, get to play an Aandroidd with cost of 2 or less. So all of that I think is really, really great. You can also KO it yourself later with self-destruct to get your Aandroidd back, and then play the 4-drop Cell, and then you can play the 5-drop again, right? All of that is like really good recursion. We have a lot of great effects that lets you just get to the spots that you want to be. And yeah, I've been really, really enjoying this deck in its own way. So I will say, like, yeah, the 5-drop other Cell, it is unfortunate that we can't use the Cell chain to go into it, but the fact that with this card can just be played for 5 and get some great removal against decks that you care about for that is good too. The removal I think from this deck also gets around a lot of other decks that feel like they should just be like unremovable, right? This does KO, but the fact that you can just like use Cell effect and Cell Junior and a bunch of these other effects to get rid of some higher costed cards, I think is in a good spot too. So I don't have much more to say about this build specifically, but I think that Cell is going to be really relevant right now. I think it's a really cool deck, and congratulations to Wim for their 5th place finish. And then to break into our top 16, so those are the top 8. So we're going to break into some decks that had an X2 finish. These are decks that could get into a top 8 finish as well. We had, I don't think I mentioned it, our Janemba player was an X2 finish. They got 8th place. So a lot of these other decks could have also gone to top 8 with just better tiebreakers. So with Aandroidd 18, this is the build here from Sean. And I know a lot of people have been deciding, you know, oh, is Aandroidd 18 kind of worth it? With the kind of big idea I've been seeing is specifically the Bleak Future card. So permanent, if your leader is Aandroidd 18, your battle cards with Aandroidd and their special traits can attack active mode battle cards in your opponent's battle area. So that's really good against specifically 2-drop Bobbity, especially like if they play 2-drop on curve and they, you know, and then you play on 3 your Bleak Future when you already have like a 1-drop or something, you can really just punish their Bobbity or get like a lot of value from it as well. So this also has a there's also like the 1-drop vanilla Cell. So part of the reason that this card is good is specifically from the Cell Junior. So if your leader's Aandroidd only and you have a Cell card with the original, oh sorry, it's only 30k power more. I don't know why they're playing this card. I don't know, maybe it's just like a fun like 1-drop then, because there's nothing else that cares about the name of Cell. I think this is just a one of neat card. I mean, playing this on 2 and then being able to like attack over with Bleak Future is still really good, but it is bizarre to me to see this card in the deck just as vanilla as is. But it is like another 10k you can get off of the Dr. Floppe as well, so I think that can be good. I do like Aandroidd 17 18. The fact that this does give like a blanket 10k across the board does help you in a lot of matchups, and the fact that it's named Aandroidd 18 means that they don't get rid of it. You can use the Cell chain, because it is like an Android 18 card still. I also really like Fusion Android 13. This card is pretty good, especially in a Android 18 leader. Being able to make this a, you know, technically what, 55 plus, you know, 75k once attack, and then like this can just clear the board, especially if you're playing Bleak Future. This, especially since it's just a 5k, like you really don't mind playing a copy or two of this to help you like get some weird board clears in the mid to late game. So lastly, I think that red has like a bit of an issue where we don't really have that many like good double strike cards right now, and by not many, like the ones that red has are just like really one is banned, and then the other two are essentially the same ones, right? We just don't have like the same generic ones that I think a lot of other colors have, right? Like this one is just strictly worse than this one, I think, at this point, right? Especially because like given the minus power. So and then again, this one's banned. So we have to play Starter Deck 1 Goku. You know, it's been out for a year, and it's still like the best starter, like the best double strike the entire color has. So if red gets anything that's similar to like a good double striker in the near future, I can definitely see Android 18 and like Cell take advantage of it right now. But the fact that, you know, our double striker is just so generic and doesn't really do that much is a little bit of a downturn, I feel like. But by and large, I think that red androids are a real deck. They're going to be pretty relevant right now, and congratulations to Sean for their finish with this Android 18. Next up, we've got Son Goku Childhood. So this is Mark's build of the build, and I've been really wanting to make this deck work. I've been having a little bit of trouble for it, but I've been liking what this deck looks like. We did get a lot of support with one. I think this Son Goku Childhood 3-drop here is like the best card that we got from the entire set. Just being able to like help us awaken, the fact that it gets removal, the fact that it helps us cycle cards through our deck, I think is really, really impactful for this deck. And the fact that we just also have like a second cross-arm dive target that's not Jackie Chun. So the fact that we don't always see this card on, like, the fact that we need to see a 1-drop cross-arm dive already is a little bit tough to ask for. So being able to get both, I think, is good. There's also just like the extras that we're playing is a little bit different. Specifically, like scissors paper rock is really good for like a double and a draw, so that can help you, but you have to have 7 or less. But just that card draw is really good. Cross-arm dive, obviously, I think most people are playing 4 copies of this. This card's really good. Kamehameha Full Power is a newer card, but being able to get some removal for 2 or less, I think is great for the deck too. And then Tri-Beam, this just being able to remove like most important cards in the game right now is good. The fact that you know, we have, it gets rid of like Majin Buu 4-drop without proccing its on KO effect is really good as well. I do also like the if we go to SB01, I do also like the Thundershock. Thundershock Surprise. I really do like this card. The fact that it does draw and the fact that you do get out of an attack. There are some like weird turns where I'm like, the best play for me to do is literally just play 5 drops on Goku and then like Thundershock Surprise, stun 2 things, draw 2 things. And so I feel like that would probably be, if we were adding more extras to the deck, that would be the way to do it. But we're also only playing, we're not playing that many, right? We're only playing 11 extra cards, which means that Bulma is going to miss, I think, quite a bit. And like the consistency from that side isn't super big, but we do have like a lot of other ways to find our pieces. So we've got Announcer. We also have Chi-Chi, which this card is good, but it might be tricky to find the extra card to be able to use with it. And we also have the Ran Fan. So if your leader is Son Goku Childhood, choose a 2-1 battle card in your opponent's battle area, reduces cost by 1 for the turn. So even if it's just like that into Kamehameha Full Power to get rid of a 3 cost, which I think there's a lot of relevant 3 costs right now, I think that could be like a good reason to use Ran Fan. So other than that, we do have like the kind of standard pieces. We also do have the 4-drop Tin Shinhan promo, which I don't know how I feel about this card. You do get to like play a 4-drop that plays a another 4-drop. I feel like the only reason I would want to play this card is if it was to establish another body for cross-arm dive, but it's a 4 cost, and cross-arm dive you need to bounce a 3 or less back to hand. So it's not a terrible card, but I just feel like it's weird to have like a 4-drop that plays the thing, but it is a 10k, so like it's never like a bad card in the deck. It's just interesting and something that I need to test out with a little bit more. But here's a build from Mark. Congratulations for their top 16 with Son Goku. We also do have Vegeta, the yellow one, which this is Walter's version of the deck, and I know a lot of people were just like, this card is this deck is like dead on arrival, right? If you're playing against 4-drop Majin Buu, you're never getting any energy ever, right? You really have to prioritize like using your energy marker because it could be used on defense for results of training. And I think that this deck has a lot of issues with that effect. But otherwise, we do also have like our own ways to take advantage of the same Bobbity and Majin Buu combo because we're also yellow, right? So I think like Vegeta you definitely need a game plan into specifically how good that combo is, especially like you need to have like some removal, which we do have with the 4-drop Vegeta Frieza, right? The fact that we can just attack and remove the card is really strong. We do have our golden Frieza. We do have a lot of these extras. I think the biggest thing is that we have to be really cognizant of when we use our extras to get out of attacks. I don't think against like you still play the same deck that you always have been, but you just have to play immediately different if you're ever playing a yellow Majin deck, which is again like half the meta, right? So I do think the Vegeta does have like a chance to exist, though. It's just that you know, it is something that you have to be really aware for that as well. So if you are playing against like Bardock, or if you're playing against like Red Cell, the fact that you do have a lot of barrier cards, you have a lot of defenses and like Golden Frieza, I think that this deck can exist and do well against those decks too. It's just, again, you do have to jump over that hurdle. But I think it's really cool to see that we actually had 2 copies of Vegeta Go X2. We also had Danny's version of the deck too, but we're just going to go over this one. But yeah, I think there is like some room for the deck to do well. It was so good at the end of FB06, so I think that, you know, it is a shame that it does get like super hard countered with the cards that do exist, but we'll see if that changes that at all. But this is the build here from Walter. The next up, we do have the build from Adrian. So we've got 2 green decks to end the day. We've got the new green aggro deck, which is the new, I guess, newer back on the block. Maybe I don't know. Was Green Vegeta ever on the block? It was never really relevant in my mind. But we got so much new support from the SP01 set that I think this deck does deserve some relevancy, and it has a chance to be really relevant right now. The fact that we do have like the new support, the 3-drop Raditz, is really great. Being able to use this card to establish another body and also attack and take a life. I think this game right now is really revolving around the fact that we are really dependent on like attacking more than once. Like if we like, it doesn't really matter as much as like how big our attacks are. It means that with blocker barrier being so prevalent, or just even like blockers in general being so prevalent, we are really dependent on finding the ways to find blockers that or to get around blockers by having just more attacks, I guess, in that way. So with that in mind, I do think like, yeah, that extra attack really does a lot. We have the 2-drop Nappa promo, which I think helps you establish your stage. We also do have the Nappa to get rid of stages, which I guess is really good for the mirror match. I know I've been seeing a lot of people play field card hate, and I haven't been seeing as many field cards exist, but that can be kind of relevant. Obviously the new super rare Vegeta is still really good. We've got 4-drop Nappa, as well as the Great Ape Vegeta. Being able to use this card to like, the fact that you can go into this card so easily is really nice. So essentially on like 4 energy, right? You can do something where you play Son Goku, or something like a 1-drop, then you use your leader effect to play out the I guess even like Raditz into Vegeta, and then you use the Vegeta's effect to go into Great Ape. Like there's just like a lot of good like sequencing for all that, and then you get 1 energy back and you go to 4 next turn. So that all feels really great. I think that this deck has like a lot of great lines that exist, and the only thing I will say is that you're pretty dependent on finding your artificial full moon, and if you don't have it, it's a little bit tricky to get like your full value back with it. So other than that, you know, there's this like Son Gohan Youth, which I don't know if this card is like worth it. I mean, it is like a 2-drop 20k as well, right? But and you can take a card from life if you need to like try to use it to go for game. So, and it is searchable off your stuff, so that's probably not too bad either. But all in all, I think that a lot of people are going to be trying Vegeta, and I do look forward to seeing if it can get some momentum into this format. And then lastly, we've got Giblet, and we've got Justin's version of the deck, and this is my deck of choice at the end of FP06. I think this deck is really strong, and even though it only got 1 spot in our top 18, we got 18th places in our last X2. I think this deck is still cracked. I think this deck is really good. I think there's a lot of ways to take advantage of specifically the cards that exist right now, and being able to you know, you do need to have like a really good game plan against specifically like yellow, but I do think like Broly BR is like a really good way to start getting that advantage. The fact that you're attacking more than once per turn is really strong, and they do have to just answer that. The fact that it's also 25k means like Majin Buu can't just interact with it for free. I do think like Double Strike is like the weakest it's ever been for specifically this deck, because it doesn't matter if you attack Double Strike, they'll just get the block for it, or they're always going to wait for this card to exist to get the Double Strike, so you do have to just kind of hit them down to 1 and then just have like 1 big attack at the end. But yeah, the aggression from this deck still is a kind of unparalleled, I find, in my mind. We just have a lot of ways to remove things, a lot of ways to just get a lot of attacks. We do have like Golden Freeze up 4 copies, which this card just being like a Self Awakener that draws 1, I think is fine. That is like trickier for your opponent to interact with. I think the only thing is that yellow can really stun a lot of these cards on your board, and you really can't do much after that as well. But I do think that that's there. So also the fact that this KOs something and doesn't put it in the trash is like tough against 4-drop boost specifically, but it's just kind of how it is. So I do think Giblet has a chance to be relevant. It's going to be interesting to see if Giblet or Vegeta is going to be better, which one of the two. But here's a build here. Congratulations to Justin for their finish there. And that's going to be it for this one. Again, if you guys want to see any of the deck lists, you can find them on my website, Eggman Events. I'm looking forward to the regionals that's happening this weekend and seeing how this meta continues to develop. And I appreciate you guys watching. So thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.